So if you were watching the news this summer, you probably saw stories about the wildfires in California. And you may be asking yourself, how safe am I from wildfires and other natural disasters in Oakland and the rest of the San Francisco East Bay? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get to it. Welcome to the Living in Oakland, California channel. I'm Rich Fleming, your local realtor, and I'm here to teach you everything you need to know about living, working, playing, sleeping, eating, whatever, in Oakland and the rest of the San Francisco East Bay. I get so many people who reach out to me with questions about what it's like to live here, how do they move here, what they need to know before they get here, and I absolutely love it. So if you've got questions, that's what I'm here for. Drop me a text, give me a call, send me an email. Whatever works for you, because when it comes to moving to Oakland and the rest of the San Francisco East Bay, I got your back. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the risk from natural disasters in Oakland and the rest of the San Francisco East Bay. So there are three primary types of natural disasters that Californians face: flooding, fires, and earthquakes. We don't experience things like tornadoes or hurricanes very often at all. So the first type of natural disaster we're going to talk about is flooding. And that occurs primarily near the river systems in California. And most of those rivers are in more rural areas. And that's just due to the geography of California. The rivers run from the Sierra Mountains and into the San Francisco Delta. Most of the San Francisco East Bay, and specifically Oakland, is nowhere near these river systems. So it is very rare that we experience flooding of any significant type. There are a number of small streams in the Bay Area, and that is the most common type of flooding we have. Very small and very localized. The second type of natural disaster that we face here in California and in the Bay Area is from fire. And in the last 10 to 15 years, the risk from fire has definitely grown. But most of the fires that you see on the news are in regions that are in more remote areas of California, or at the very extreme edges of the San Francisco Bay Area. So for example, the Camp Fire, which is the most expensive fire in terms of lives lost and money, occurred in Butte County. Butte County is about 100 miles away from Oakland, California. So there was no immediate danger from that fire to the San Francisco Bay Area. Now, another recent fire, the Tubbs Fire, was located primarily in Napa and Sonoma County, and these are at the far edges of the San Francisco Bay Area, and they were very destructive to the town of Santa Rosa. So Santa Rosa is about 60 to 70 miles from Oakland, so there was no immediate threat to Oakland or the rest of the San Francisco East Bay. So a third fire event I'll discuss is the 1991 Oakland Berkeley Hills Fire. This event cost 25 people their lives and destroyed over 3,300 homes. Back then, the availability of fire suppression capabilities in the hill parts of Oakland and Berkeley was very limited. Since then, many of the cities that are located in the hills have installed much more sufficient fire suppression systems. They are also much more on top of homeowners and property owners to make sure that they don't have a lot of vegetation near their properties. So if you did choose to live in some of the more hilly and remote parts of Oakland, this is a definite risk that you have to pay attention to. However, for most of Oakland and Berkeley and the rest of the San Francisco East Bay, the risk from this type of fire is still very minimal. So the third type of natural disaster that we potentially face here in the San Francisco Bay Area is from earthquake. Now the Bay Area has three major earthquake faults that run through it. The San Andreas Fault, which runs from Santa Cruz to about San Francisco. The Hayward Fault, which runs from about San Jose up to the northern end of Contra Costa County. And then the Calaveras Fault, which is further east and also runs from about Fremont to the northern end of Contra Costa County. So the last major earthquake that we experienced here in the San Francisco Bay Area was the Loma Prieta earthquake of 1989. and that earthquake occurred along the San Andreas Fault. So the United States Geological Service does say that we are overdue for a significant earthquake along the Hayward Fault, which does run through the East Bay. But the thing is that they cannot tell us whether that earthquake will happen tomorrow, a year from now, 10 years from now, or 100 years from now. So the way that people in the Bay Area deal with that is by preparation. People prepare escape plans, they prepare extra food and survival kits. So the thing about earthquakes is that they happen extremely infrequently, but when they do occur, they are significant events and can disrupt life significantly. So in summary, what's your risk from natural disasters living in Oakland and the rest of the San Francisco East Bay? Well, overall, I'd say it's minimal. And that's not because things do not occur here in the San Francisco East Bay, but it is because the frequency of these events is very low. In other parts of the country, they experience things such as tornadoes and hurricanes every year, if not multiple times per year. Here in the Bay Area, things just don't occur very often. So in factoring that in, that's why I say your risk is minimal. So if you want to know more about the risk of living in the San Francisco East Bay from natural disasters, I will drop some additional links in the description below. But if you have questions or you want to talk to me about anything, you know what to do. Give me a call, drop me a text, send me an email, whatever works for you. Because when you have questions about relocating here to Oakland and the rest of the San Francisco East Bay, I got your back. If you found the video helpful, hit that like button so YouTube knows to show it to other people that have similar interests to you. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you know each and every time I drop a new video. And I'll catch you in the next video.